Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Plenty with Sulu. Our venue partner has Hair and Makeup, Headmasters, our camera partner Camera Hub, our clothing G-Flock. Today our guest is an entrepreneur. She is the CEO of British Cosmetic. She is Nirosha Jagodarachi. Hi Nirosha.
Hi.
This is a very informal discussion. So I want to know, how did you start your entrepreneurship career?
Right, so nothing was planned.
Okay.
I never basically imagined that I would be like this one day. It was all unplanned, but I had a vision when I was small also that I have goals. I have set up goals that I should be this one day. I should be independent. I should be not an entrepreneur, but then I should be independent. I really didn't like to depend on anybody. So likewise, what happened was eventually I got involved after my college. I got involved in a career into merchandising. I was working for a very leading buying office, and then after my marriage, like everybody else, I thought I want to have a break. And then after the break, the so-called break, the marriage and everything, I was not very happy with staying at home, the housewife, the rules and the things. So then what happened was I wanted to venture into some industry. So then I followed a beauty culture course, and then I kind of like the passion. I basically, even when I was working, I used to really groom myself properly. I used to look into all those magazines and stuff like that. I had to experiment all these kind of things. And then, so then eventually what happened was we got involved with this distribution of a UK brand, and that was the startup. So
you started as a distribution company?
Yes, we started as a distributor company, and eventually then what happened was we basically got the nick of doing distribution. And then of course that time the product was a prestigious brand, and then we learned a lot from them. There was so much of nurturing that we got from our international partners, and then not only that, we got involved with a few other international brands. So then therefore what we did was we managed to sort of establish a market here in Sri Lanka, and then we moved into our own brands, because what we thought was like all the time, every time like you get down something foreign and then you kind of sometimes you have the feeling it's alienated from us. Of course it could be an international label, it could be an international brand, but then at the same time sometimes, especially when it comes to color cosmetic, you might think, okay, that color does not suit me, because this was like 20 years back. During that time there was not much of a portfolio for the Asian skin. So what we did was we developed our own skincare line, our own makeup line, so that we should be able to, I mean, our own clientele could be benefited from what we produce.
So from merchandising to the distribution, and thought of doing our own brand for Sri Lanka. Right?
Yes.
So the British Cosmetic brand is yours.
It's ours. It's our brand. It's our bread and butter. So only thing is we have gone through a lot of milestones. Like British Cosmetic is 20 years now, and then we have gone through a lot of milestones. So I would say that I'm very happy. I'm blessed to have a good team. Of course, my husband is into the financial sector. He's also into marketing. I'm into planning. So we basically get together and we design our own portfolio. I design the portfolio, and he designs the marketing concept. Of course, so there's a blend of developing this brand to a certain level, and I'm very happy with the things that we have achieved as a brand. We have been very dynamic. We basically, people follow us, right? We are the creators of a trend. We always create something to the market. We have taken that depth. The creation has to be coming from us. So we have been there enough to take new challenges into our hand We have experimented things.
So, starting your own brand, what was, because everyone talk about entrepreneurship, but no one understand that entrepreneurship is not just, you're not going to get a monthly salary. It's all about, sometimes yes you have a profit, sometimes it's not,
You don't.
right? And when you wanted to protect a brand, your own brand, it's not easy. So how was your journey on that?
It actually, Sulochana, now we think starting your own business is easy, but it's a 24/7 job. You are always on your move. There is no free time for us. When we go home, also we talk about the business. When I come out of the business, when I'm on the move, I'm thinking of the business, how we develop it, because we should realize it's a competition that we are in. If you're working for somebody, that person is rolling the wheels, so you only have to drive it. But then we have to have the whole 4 wheels running, and then all the spokes of the wheels working, and at the same time we have to be in the market. We have to be the first in the market. So now our British Cosmetic has a bigger challenge, because we are always in the front, because all the other brands are looking up to us to see what we are doing. So we have always done that. We have always been the forefront. So when you are in the forefront, when you're in the front, it's a bigger challenge, because you don't want to go back, right? So that's a massive pressure for us, because we always working on to be how can we be in the front, how can we lead. We can, because when you're the leader, you don't want,
because there are a lot of followers also,
Yes.
and when you take a back step, it's very hard to get into the first again.
So it's easy for somebody to follow, but if you're leading, it's very difficult. So
That's what it says. Followers never understand what's the commitment and sacrifice leaders made to make the road.
exactly. So brand wise, and then my staff, because I have about 250 staff members with me. A good 70% of them are female. So they are
Okay.
looking up to me. They want to know because always a leader is a person where we look up to. So I need to be example for them. So in that way, I have to be ethical, and I need to have our own systems ethically done, so that for them also it's easy for them to follow.
That word is hardly an entrepreneur comes, because I always say entrepreneurship is having ethics, values, right? You can be an entrepreneur overnight, but being an entrepreneur with a strategic plan for a long term, it's not easy. And that is depend on the ethics. So you talk about ethics. If you can just elaborate why it's important to an entrepreneur.
I am very passionate about the ethics. The code of ethics are like it's my Bible, because I think for us, our brand to be in this position is because of good ethics. Because when it comes to developing a brand, we never use harmful ingredients to the skin. Just because we want to earn a buck doesn't mean that you give bad things to the customer.
Yeah.
So we follow that protocol. We respect the environment, we respect the staff members, we respect their ideas. So it's a way that we have behaved. So I think this is the reason, because when it comes to certain situation, it could be challenging, because always people think, why do you want to do this? I mean, it's so expensive, or it's too lengthy. But we always stick to that stand. We have to be ethical every way, operation wise, strategic wise, and then distribution, execution, everything has to follow their own ethics.
Totally agree. Now, during the COVID-19, one of the major business that was affected was cosmetics, salons, beauty, everything.
Yes.
Right? So now you said you had 250 employees. How was it? How did you cope with it?
So it was a big blow, not only for the industry, for our industry majorly, but then we had to find a ways out of it. So we can't just rehash on it and just stay there, but we had to find our way out of it. So we found certain ways of, we could say strategies. We changed all our strategies. Because what we have planned for this year have basically changed. And then we are looking at new developments, we are looking at new scopes. And so it's not easy, because it just within 3 months' time, as I said again, we had to be in the forefront, we had to be the leader. So it's just a change of strategies within 3 months' time. So even though COVID locked us down, our mind was working. Everything was happening back home, working from home, looking at new ways of developing yourself. And then we had to find relief to our staff, because that is something important. We had to maintain our staff, because none of the staff members were laid out. All the permanent staff members are with us. So likewise, we had to find our own new strategies. We have found them and we are executing them now. We have implemented and some are on execution. So we had to come out of it. So I would say human nature is such. People get, I mean, once you fall down, you kind of think to realize what has happened. How did I fall? But then later on you get up. You get up and you take that as a challenge and you move on. So I think that has to be the essence of an entrepreneur, rather than just falling down and just giving up and thinking, no, my life is over, my business is over, I am done, there's nothing for me left. Not that. You get up. You fall and you get up, and then you start new.
We mainly speaks about some of the products which are coming from India, especially the beauty products. And we know that there are stories about people who has created a brand. But Sri Lanka also we have, but young entrepreneur building her own brand.
Yes.
And also trying to make a name for her. Was it easy for you? Or was it like everyone, because I remember you applied for top 50 and I remember the panel of judges were asking me whether she owns it or she's just an agent because of the British cosmetic name, or her husband is running. So if you can just tell, because a lot of people always thinks that there has to be something, if this brand is good, that if led by a woman, there has to be some support system, right?
Yeah, I think maybe because of the reason there's a woman behind the brand, that is why the brand is leading. Because I, as a woman, knows what is needed for me and what is useful for me, and I know what is best for me. So what I do is I put that. I get a lot of international exposure. The reason for me naming it British Cosmetic was also a coincidence, because of the reason I got my secondary education from in UK, and then there I met these guys who got down the distributionship of the previous brand. And then that was the start. So since it was a UK British brand, we thought, why not name it British Cosmetics? So then afterwards we had our own brand. So we pushed out of our principals and we purchased their labels. Okay. So we have actually in UK, there was this Prevent Skincare was more than 30 years old. We are the only Sri Lankan company to acquire British brand under our portfolio. So we literally purchased it, and we got the manufacturing right and the copyrights of the brand, Prevents, and CC UK as well. So basically what happens, CC UK is our brand, and we developed it to the Sri Lankan portfolio.
Right.
So this is the reason for the name, but it is solely us. So
it's solely Sri Lankan.
Solely Sri Lanka. When I was the agent for this UK brand, we used to fight with the UK principals. We used to say, no, these colors doesn't suit our skin. We need different colors. And I used to show my skin, and I used to apply the foundation and the powder and say, see, it doesn't look nice. It's not good. And they are like thinking, I was very young that day, 20 years back, and we were the youngest distributor ever in that company. So they had about 120 distributors worldwide. So that was really phenomenal. It was a very big
Yeah.
company. So, and he was surprised, the chairman was surprised how I basically put my foot down and said, no, I want something to suit my skin. If I want to distribute it, I need to have my skin color. And then, of course, they did it for me. They basically developed some colors to suit the Sri Lankan skin. And it's all because of the reason that I was challenging them. I was really wanting what I want. If I have a goal, if I had a will, I will get it somewhere or other.
Okay, great. So, how was the family support? Because you were young, you said you because of your marriage, then you had kids. So how the system, the family helped you to be who you are today?
Yes, I really don't know how that went on because I was mostly involved in the office 24/7, as I told you earlier. And my kids, I have two lovely daughters. Now one is a medical student and the other one is reading for her degree in business management. So I don't know how they grew up sometimes. And sometimes I feel, okay, have I missed anything? But no, I haven't. Sometimes I made sure that I am with the kids most of the time. But of course, when we had to travel, because we had to travel a lot because of our influencers, because of the seminars and exhibitions and stuff like that, only during that time I'll be missing them out because they will be staying with my parents. But apart from that, I always had the time for them. Of course, there would have been a time that I was not there, but it's very rare. So I was there when they first walked, and I was there when they first started talking. And then there is traditional things that happen for kids. I was there, and I was there for their parents' meetings. So I managed somehow.
So somehow you managed to be that good mother.
Yes.
And try to be that wife, try to be that business person. But you came along, right?
I know. Sometimes you kind of like all women have this, I think. When
The
you're
guiltiness. But the
guiltiness.
men never, when a man's, if you ask from a man, did you miss your family and did you miss the parents? And they will look at you and ask, why should I? And it's not my responsibility. But as a mother, as a woman, you feel you are accountable and you're responsible, and also you feel a guiltiness. So,
I know, that's the thing.
right?
Probably because of the reason that I knew I was a career woman. So sometimes your speculation in Sri Lanka is, okay, when you have kids, you have to be a housewife. So maybe that was the thing that was giving me that guilty feeling, thinking, okay, have I justified my role as a mother? But I feel, looking down, I always ask my kids even now, have I neglected you, darling? And they say, no, Mama, you have been a wonderful mom. So we are so close. We are like friends. My two kids, they are like, we talk, we interact with each other. So we are very confident with our so I feel the reason for them to feel very confident with me is because of the reason that I would have been a good mom.
You would have, for sure. So finally, I want to ask, there are a lot of startups coming, entrepreneurs are coming, and we are getting into a digital world.
Yeah.
What is your advice? Because many startups I see, they are not going beyond 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And startup cannot be startup for another 2 to 3 years. They
Yes.
have to come to entrepreneur SME, but I don't see there's a growing coming in.
Yeah.
So what is your advice for the young generation?
I feel, Sulo, it's the reason we think of this responsibility in a very small way.
Yeah.
Your business, you think, okay, just you start up something and then that's about it. But then there's more to it. How I did was I worked at a company. I worked for about 5-7 years, and I basically got the phenomenon of how you have to be a good corporate, how you have to be a good employee. When you become a good employee, you
Become an employer. A
Employer.
lot of young people become
Forget.
entrepreneurs without having a corporate career.
Exactly. Even if they become an employee, what happens is they start, now in the salon industry, this is very, very big and high. You work for about 2 years, you think, okay, you have achieved everything, and you
Start.
quit and you start your own business. And then what happens? down the line, after some time, when you can't take the pressure, you just give up.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have that corporate good governance in a corporate, work in a corporate, be among the team, and see how it works. Get the rules and regulation, get the ethics into your system, and then start.
Very good. So today she said, have that corporate background before you start entrepreneurship, and mainly have some ethics, because business is all about values and ethics. And I hope you were able to give a positive message, and the entrepreneurship journey was amazing, because a lot of people, even I, for a long time I was thinking that British cosmetic is something that we import here and market it. But you clarify it, and thank you so much, Nirusha, for spending time and sharing your journey with us. And I wish you all the very best for your future business.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, everyone. Be tuned to Daily Mirror Online.